What is going on, my friends? Dr. Bruce back in the house here for another edition of the Solopreneur Movement podcast. Every single week, I try to come into your life with content that I believe will move the needle for you, whether that's personally or professionally, tied around your sales, your service, your marketing. And of course, all of this is a mindset, right? Every single day as a solopreneur, when you have so many different things that you're trying to actively manage in your business or in your personal life, right? It's a mindset. And we're in the heart of the summer right now, which means we're in the heart of, looking at the second half of the year and maybe looking at your sales plan and your marketing plan. And one of the epiphanies, it's an interesting word, right? One of the epiphanies that I had in my own business as a performance coach, right? A lot of you might know this, or maybe you don't know this, but I have a PhD in human performance, right? I was one of the youngest ever program directors in the Texas A&M system. In my speaking bio, I have it in there, Dr. Bruce leads with a heart of a teacher approach. And I just want to share with you, I believe now more than ever, people need to be told what to do. When I go to the gym and I show up, the reason I love going to group fitness classes is I know they're going to kick my butt and I know they're going to tell me what to do. And I know I can leave there feeling accomplished, right? I don't want to show up there and try to figure out all this stuff for me. So as long as I trust and I respect the fact that they know what they're doing, then I'm going to listen to them. Now, for you as a solopreneur, why does this really matter? This really matters for you because there's two components of your business that I believe you can really leverage this heart of a teacher approach every single day. Number one is in your actual marketing content that you create. And then number two is through your sales content or through your sales skill sets, I guess would be another way to think about that, right? So every single day you're thinking to yourself, hey, how can I get more attention for my brand or my business or my marketing, right? I know that I am, and I know there's times that I don't feel like doing videos or I don't feel like doing the podcast or I don't feel like, putting myself out there. Whether it's imposter syndrome or I got to energy up, or maybe it's a topic I'm not as passionate about, right? I was having a conversation with the director of mortgage. And it was basically, I just said, hey man, you know what? I want to pass the positive. You're doing a great job putting out content. And he was like, man, it's just so hard to put out content, right? And you're not always as passionate about the topics that you're speaking on, or you feel so salesy in that process. But the reality is, as long as you continue to lead with that heart of a teacher approach, then it does not matter. All right. Now, one of the things that I've learned recently that I want to share with you, talking about marketing from a heart of a teacher approach. And this goes back to, and when I was in my early 20s, I was a substitute teacher and I was a high school basketball, volleyball, baseball coach. All right. So for as long as I remember, I've been, athletics and coaching and teaching has been a big part of my life. And then at the age of 24, I moved out to Nashville, Tennessee, and I started working on, my PhD. I was a graduate teaching assistant. And so even in my mid to early 20s, I was teaching graduate classes really to my peers. All right. So I'm working on my master's, I'm working on my PhD, and I'm teaching other 18, 19, 20-year-olds. And, they don't just throw you to the wolves when you go through something like that. They do give you training, right? Everybody needs a coach in life. Trained people always outperform untrained people. And the training that I got is, when it comes to putting together a great lesson plan, you want to tell them what you're going to tell them. And then you actually tell it. And then you tell them what you told them, right? So let's just think about that. If you have a 1-hour class, you spend the first 10 to 15 minutes overviewing, hey, these are the key points that we're going to cover today, right? And then you spend really 30 minutes on on really the body of the content that you're going to cover. And then you spend the last 10 to 15 minutes telling them what you told them. All right. Now, one of the things that I really realized as a performance coach is there's a missing ingredient within that formula, which is you have to tell them what to actually do with the content now more than ever. So you tell them what you're going to tell them, and then you tell them what you told them, but then you have to really tell them, okay, this is what you go do with this content and with this information. All right. So the next time that you're putting together your, again, like your marketing, your heart of a teacher approach, and you're like, I don't really know the content, it really becomes easy, just putting together this content. Okay. You overview 3 to 5 minutes what you're going to tell them, and then you tell it for the next 10 minutes, and then you tell them what you told them for 3 to 5 minutes, and then you tell them what to actually go out there and do that. All right. And so that's just my way of helping you as a content creator to go out there. You have something incredibly valuable to offer other people. If you lead with that heart of a teacher approach, some will, some won't, so what? I promise you there's somebody on the other end of this camera, right, that needs to hear this message. Maybe they're like, oh my gosh, I need to put out more content, but I'm scared to. I don't know how to get started. I'm afraid of what people might think of me, right? I'm afraid of what I might sound like on video or what I might look like on camera. These are all different objections or all things, hurdles that we all have to overcome, right? These are all obstacles. Even myself, I speak in front of thousands of people every single year. I put out hundreds of videos. And even still, every time I get on here, I don't necessarily love hitting play on a camera and recording content. I love getting in front of groups of people live, right? But there's difference of like creating this content right here. All right. So my coaching point is whether you're having video reluctance or, getting nervous about getting in front of an audience of people. One of the biggest epiphanies that I had early on in my coaching business, I remember it was in my very first year. I'm speaking out at the LA Convention Center at the $1 Million Roundtable, which is the #1 financial services association in the world. And I would be lying if I said I was not petrified. I mean, I was so scared to go take that stage. And I just remember going on a walk that morning. And another coaching point to this is like, you're almost never going to be ready, right? You're like, well, I need another week. I need another 2 weeks, and then you get that extra week or 2 weeks, and then you're still not ready for that moment anyways, right? My good friend, Hubert Payne, talks about the performance moment, right? Like at a certain point, you just have to be ready for those opportunities when they present themselves. But I remember going on a walk the morning of that event, and it stuck with me that, like, you know what? Out of these thousands of people that are going to be in that audience, there's going to be at least one person who needs to hear what I have to say in that moment. And what was really cool, though, is after I got done with that session, the feedback was overwhelmingly positive. One person raised their hand and they said, listen, I've been coming to $1 Million Roundtable, and I've been attending these sessions for over 20 years. And this is one of the best sessions I've ever sat in on, right? Now that's validation. And that helps with that heart of a teacher approach for us to get going. But when it comes to creating content, just like we're about to talk about on the sales side of this, as long as you lead with the heart of a teacher approach, you try to position yourself as a person of influence. It's not like, hey, look at me, I need your attention, but rather servicing other people, then it becomes a whole lot easier when I talk about like creating this content right here, right? If I got on here, I'm like, oh gosh, who am I trying to sell? All that kind of stuff. I was talking to another $1 Million Roundtable fellow member, Stephen Pluez, who happened to speak on the $1 Million Roundtable this past year in Miami a couple months ago, and he was on the center stage, and he just got to share with that whole audience, again, tens of thousands of people, his experience of being in $1 Million Roundtable. And he said it was a completely different experience because he was just talking about the MDRT, their community, and how great they are, right? He wasn't trying to pitch his services or sell their products or anything like that. It was like literally just him, kind of sharing this heartfelt moment that he had through the community of MDRT and experiences that he had, right? So it's the same thing when you're creating content. You lead with that heart of a teacher approach when it comes to your marketing, right? Tell them what you're going to tell them, tell them what you told them, and then give them that clear action step. All right. Now, on the opposite side of this gets into your sales side of your heart of a teacher approach, right? Because how many times, just like we talked about overcoming video reluctance, how many times do you have to overcome call reluctance, right, in the sales process? So for me, as long as when I'm prospecting, we call it in my selling system, you have your help list and you have your fight club, right? Your help lists are like, it's just any leads or any targets of people. Hey, I think I can help you. I don't know. Let's have a conversation, right? I've helped other people like you, just like you do X, Y, Z, right? So I'm not just cold calling any random person. There's a group of other people just like you that I've helped do this, this, and this, that have helped solve those problems, right? And then the fight club is, hey, they fit my filter. They're going to use somebody. I believe that, again, I'm really good at what I do. Therefore, I have to fight to earn their business. And so that's the sales side of the heart of a teacher mindset, is as long as you're leading with that, I'm trying to help solve their problems. I've done this for other people just like them. I do believe that I have their best interests out for them, then I can't be afraid to teach. I can't be afraid to sometimes challenge them, right? Like that's another thing that great teachers do. Some of the greatest teachers in my life have challenged me. That had those tough conversations. Are you really reaching your potential? Right? All those different types of things. And so the most important ingredients in any relationship is trust and respect. And if you constantly lead with that heart of a teacher approach where you're trying to motivate, you're trying to influence, you're trying to educate, but then occasionally you have to have that challenging conversation with them and you're not afraid to maybe lose that relationship because of it, because again, you have their best interest out for them, then that's what a heart of a teacher does. All right. So as long as I am truly leading with that heart of a teacher, the adding the value, the most overused, underdone expression in business, I just want to add value. So anytime that I have that sales call reluctance, I think to myself, helpless fight club. Hey, I think I can help you because I've helped other people like you do this, this, and this. I can help solve your problems just as good, if not better than anybody else out there, right? You fit my filter of the exact type of people that I do business with and that I'm in alignment with. And that's why I'm fighting to earn this business from you. All right. So, as long as you lead with that heart of a teacher approach, some will, some won't. So what? Who's next? So I hope that those two concepts help you, whether it's on the marketing side of it, with creating content or marketing your services. Self-promotion is not evil in today's world. It is necessary. All right. And then on the sales side of it, if you just sat inside your office every single day and hope that your phone rang, I hope that you get to a point where it does, right? Maybe through your marketing or through word of mouth or through, the different types of people that you have and the referral partners and the actual consumer referrals that you get, right? But, at the end of the day, no matter what, as a salesperson, you're going to have to overcome or handle objections, right? You're going to have to make the first initial contact, to set the appointment, to conduct the appointment, to pitch your services, to build rapport, to be in alignment. So as long as you're leading with that heart of a teacher approach, you're not going to win them all. I promise you. I wish you did, right? But as long as I lead with that, man, it's like I don't care. As long as I lead with that heart of a teacher approach within all this. All right. So now I'm going to tell you what I told you, or excuse me, I'm going to tell you what to do. Right. So, we talked today about the heart of a teacher approach. What does that really mean to you and your business? How to implement that inside of your marketing content creation? And then how to incorporate that into your sales mindset for your call reluctance. Now, lastly, what is the call to action here? I want you today, this week, pick a topic that you're super passionate about, that you just want to teach, right? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell it, and then I'm going to tell you what I told you, and then I'm going to give you a clear call to action. All right. So the next time that you have video reluctance, just remember there's somebody else on the other side of that microphone or that audio or that screen that needs to hear your message that day. Not, if you have 100 people in your listening audience, not every 100 people are going to need to hear that message, right? But there's going to be at least 20% that needs to hear that message that day. So focus on that 20%, right? Just like in my own business, when I'm coaching $100+ million loan officers and sometimes it's like, well, what are they going to learn from me? So I just love teaching those brand new LOs. And then what I realized is a lot of times the top producers are like, man, I needed that reminder anyways, right? So it really does rub off on them that way. All right. So that's the takeaway from the marketing side of it is create at least 3 to 5 minute content of something that you're super passionate about this week, and then just get it out there. All right. Put it on the socials, do a database blast. If you're using accountable CRM, like just send that out to your entire database. All right. Now, the second part is the sales part of this. So this week, I want you to call on somebody that, I've been pushing calling this person off every single week. Every time I see their name, I get that call reluctance and I'm like, okay, I don't have anything really of value to say, or I'm just not confident calling that person. So call that person this week and focus on the heart of a teacher approach. Remind them of all the different ways that you can help them. Remind them of the other people's whose problems that you solve, just like they're as better than anybody else that's out there. Remind them maybe of the alignment that you have with them. Remind them of the shared values. All right. So that is my action plan for all of you. So as always, I hope that you enjoyed this Solopreneur episode. Please do share it. Right. I would love if you share it or if you like it, depending on whatever podcast platform that you're listening to, Spotify, Apple, any of the different ones that are out there. Please do share it with others. And as always, I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day or your busy week to spend time with me. And I'll end by just saying this: you give me my purpose, and I appreciate you for that. Have a great rest of your day, and go out there and lead with that heart of a teacher approach to your sales and your marketing mindset.